queens, and welcome back to Cricket Crowns. If you're new around here, welcome. My name is Destiny. I'm an identity and purpose coach as well as an inspiring psychologist, and on this channel we talk faith, purpose, identity, self-love, and personal development. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe because I'll be having more videos coming your way. So sis, today I want to talk to you about the 3 things that you should know before entering into a relationship. Let's get into it. So America has this weird thing going on right now where we are idolizing relationships, where we are idolizing men and women, right? You know, we have sayings like, what's the prayer Sierra prayed? And you know, we say little stuff like that because we idolize people's marriages, we idolize relationships. And one of the things that I found being a woman is that when I was coming up or growing up in middle school and high school and stuff like that, I was very relationship obsessed. Like, I thought that to be in a relationship meant that I was loved. To be in a relationship meant that, you know, I had worth, I had value, I was somebody because, you know, somebody wanted me. And, you know, even as women, I think sometimes, I don't know how we get this message, but indirectly we get the message that if a lot of men want you, that means that you are valuable, right? So we start doing things like trying to look good. You know, you see women doing things like getting surgeries to get big booties or bigger boobs or whatever, flatter stomachs to make themselves look good, because we were taught that the more men want you, the more valuable you are, basically, right? But contrary to a lot of people's belief, I don't believe that a man or a woman makes you who you are. I don't, right? And getting into my first points, one of the things that you should know before entering into a relationship is who you are. I can look at a lot of relationships and I can tell when somebody knows who they are and when they don't know who they are. Because when you don't know who you are, you deal with toxic things. As a woman, when you don't know who you are, you deal with things like getting cheated on, like getting beaten on, like getting lied to, like getting strung along, like getting put in a friend zone, but that person wants to constantly sleep with you, but they don't want to make a commitment. They just want to continue to sleep with you. And as a woman, when you don't know who you are, you will accept things like that. So I always know when a woman don't know who she is by what she accepts, by who she dates. I can look at him and I can tell, oh, she don't know who she is. She hasn't quite figured it out yet, but that's okay because your big sis here, I'm here to help you today. So it is so important that as women, we know who we are before we get into a relationship. If you do not know who you are, sis, your priority is not a man, it is to find you. Because when you don't know who you are, people can tell you who you are. When you don't know who you are, I can make you be what I want you to be. And a lot of women do not know who they are. And it's very evident by the things that we are putting up with in these relationships. And I'm sick of it, okay? I'm sick of it because I'm so tired of seeing my sisters getting tore down by these men who they're broken. So they come and they break you even more than what you already are. Now, I'm not going to say it's their fault that you are broken, because let's be real. A lot of us don't have fathers. A lot of us already have mother wounds. We have trauma from our childhood, from the things that we have dealt with. And that's part of the reason why we go into the arms of some of these men, because we look at them as heroes. We look at them as somebody who can save us from our problems. You know, as women, we romanticize everything. We look at these men like they're supermen. We make them everything. We idolize them. We put them on a pedestal. But sis, let me tell you the first mistake that you're making. You should never idolize any human being. You should never idolize anything. God says you should never have any other gods before me. God says you should not have any other gods before me. So anything that you put in the place of God is called idolizing it. You are an idolatry worshiper. And a lot of us women, we worship men and we don't even realize it because we give men the place of God. And then we wonder why we're broken. We wonder why we're torn apart. We wonder why they only damage us further. Because you're trying to put them in a space in your heart that they were never meant to fulfill. That place is only meant for God. Only God can fulfill that void that you have. It's not going to come from a man. He's only a man. He's broken himself. Majority of them are. And we keep looking to them for the answers. They are not our answers. He's not going to make you feel more loved than you already believed you are. That is not his job. I hear a lot of women saying, he don't make me happy, or he can't please me, or he's this and that. And that's another reason how I know sometimes we get into relationships and we idolize these men, even if you're doing it unintentionally. Some of us don't even know we're doing this, but we're putting men in the place of God, and we're idolizing them, and we look at them as God, and we want them to do things that only God can do for us, like heal certain wounds we have. You think a relationship is going to make you feel more beautiful. You think a relationship is going to make you feel more loved. You don't need a man, you need a therapist. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to acknowledge where it is that you are in your journey. And it's time to stop looking to a man to solve all of your problems, because he don't have the answer. He's just a man. I just want you to get that in your head. He's not God. He is just a man. And in America, we have this thing where we idolize relationships. We do. If you ever heard somebody say, man, I just love really hard. when I go into relationships, I love hard. I give everything. What I hear is I'm an idolatry worshiper. What I hear is I put men in a place that only God should be in. God never told you that you should give a man your everything. He says, give me your everything. He says you should love me with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. But the problem is you're loving that man with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. You're giving him your will. You're giving him your attention. You're giving him your money. You're giving him your finances. And you're wondering why you're broken. Because you're the sacrifice. Whenever you worship a God, you have to always offer it a sacrifice. No matter what it is, no matter what kind of deity it is, it's going to require a sacrifice. And you being in that relationship with that man is the sacrifice. You're the sacrifice. That's why it's never enough for him. That's why you can never fulfill him. All I'm trying to say is we got to get back to the basis of things. I know in America, they make things seem so, if you're not in a relationship by this age, then that means that something is wrong with you. Or if you're single, people look at you like, what's wrong with you? But at the end of the day, if you do not know who you are, you should not be being in a relationship. I'm so tired of seeing my sisters getting their life taken by these men because they don't know who they are. I'm tired. So the first thing as a woman that you should be doing is finding out who you are. It's finding your identity. And how do you find out who you are? You find out whose you are. Where did you come from? Why do you exist? Why are you on earth? What's the purpose God has for you? What's your spiritual life looking like? Do you even have a spiritual life? Do you even pray anymore, sis? Do you even pray anymore? A lot of us don't. A lot of us come from good Christian background families. And a lot of us has gotten away from our roots because we believe the lies of the enemy. We believe culture. We believe what all these people are talking. God isn't real. God isn't this. God isn't that. Sis, get back to what you know. Get back to what you know. The Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go so that when they're older, they will not depart from it. So it's still within you. Don't lie to me and say it's not, because you still got God within you. That seed was planted in you when you was a little child, and you've been running from it, and you know you have. It's time for you to get back to what you know, and that's God. Allow him to love you. Allow him to give you an identity. Let me tell you something. When you partner up with God, when you really submit your life to Christ and you give him your everything and you love on him, you give him your soul, your mind, your will, you allow his spirit to come live on the inside of you, and he begins to guide you. He will teach you. He will instruct you. He will let you know who to stay away from. He will let you know who you should become friends with and who you shouldn't be friends with. He will let you know. But when you're living in this world with no spiritual guidance, when you're living in this world with no wise counsel, you end up in things that are hard to get out of. That's why so many women are losing their lives, because they don't have wise counsel, because they don't have discernment to be able to see beyond the flesh, to be able to see that man's spirit, to be able to look on the inside of him and say, you know what, you fine, but something ain't right with you. Something not right. Something ain't sitting right in my spirit about you. You fine now, but you a little crazy. You got that twinkle in your eye. You got that controlling spirit. You got some anger issues. We don't have enough discernment to do that, because God is not cool anymore in our generation. And I don't know why, because he's a lifesaver. And all I'm trying to say is it's time to get back to the basics. Forget culture. Forget what's popular. Drop the fear of missing out. Ain't nothing worse than missing out on your purpose. Ain't nothing worse than missing out on who you are. Stop allowing people to tell you how you should live your life. That's the reason why most of y'all have walked away from God, because of culture, because of what culture say, because of what people say. You allow them to get into your ear, and now that negative stuff has taken root in your mind, and that's what you're living out of. Get back to the basics. Get back to your roots. Get back to what you know. Back to what you was taught when you was a child. So understanding whose you are, understanding that you are a child of God, understanding that you are a daughter of a king, understanding that your value and your worth does not come from anybody or anything in this world. You have to understand that first before you get into a relationship, or you would get into a relationship seeking validation from a person who don't have the ability to validate you. That's not his place. A man don't validate, but he confirms. He confirms. That's his job. He doesn't validate. He doesn't make you who you are. The devil is a liar. You don't get your value and your worth from no man. See, the world tell you all kind of stuff. They say, if you're a woman and you got more than 2 kids, you ain't valuable. If you're a woman and you over 200 pounds, 150 pounds, whatever, then you ain't valuable. If you ain't got a big booty, you ain't valuable. If you ain't got a flat stomach, you ain't worthy of love. They tell you all kind of stuff. And if you listen to the world, you will be confused about who you are. I don't know, but culture keeps people in shackles and chains. You got to begin to break this stuff off your mind. That's why I say you have to invest in your mental development, because this world, I'm telling you, they will lead you straight to hell if you allow them to. And I'm just being real, and I know what I'm saying is not popular because you probably want me to tickle your ears, but it's enough YouTube channels doing that. I care about your soul. I care about your salvation. I care about your life. I care about the quality of your life. I don't care about no views. I don't care about no likes. I don't care about no clicks. I care about you, and I care about your life, and God cares about you, and that's why I'm here. Because he wants me to come and wake you up, because you've been asleep long enough. And he's tired of it. He's tired of you keep continuing to get into relationships and give these men your heart, but you won't give it to him. He's tired of you giving them the time, but you won't give him the time. He's tired of it. You wake up with them on your mind, but not him. When they say jump, you jump. When they say move, you move. But when God tells you to do something, you got to second guess it. It's time to get it together. So the first thing is just knowing who you are. Is knowing whose you are. And the second thing is knowing who you are. And the third thing is knowing why you are created. Let me tell you something, sis. If you do not know whose you are, if you do not know who you are, and if you do not know why you are created, then you don't know who to bring on the journey with you. And that's why you keep picking up this trash. That's why you keep picking up this strap. That's why you keep running to the same men with different faces. They got the same spirit, just a different face. Because you don't know whose you are, who you are, or where you're going. That's why. When you know who you are and when you know where you're going, you're better able to know who to take on a journey with you. You can filter people out. You can say, you know what? Our values, they don't align. You know what? We're not going in the same direction. We're not going, you know what? The world has made it seem so cool to just go with the flow. Stop going with the flow. This is your life. You ain't got time to be wasting like this. Sit down and get a plan. Get some goals. Get some vision. What you mean just go with the flow? How you know you're gonna be alive tomorrow? Just go with the flow. You just accepted anything. It is what it is. The devil is a lie. It's time for you to get some goals, to get a vision, to make a plan for your life, and stop living like your life don't have no meaning. Because you have a meaning. You have purpose. There is a reason why you are alive. There is a reason why God has kept you alive this long. If he did not need you, he would have been taking his breath back from you. But the fact that you are still alive and breathing means that you have purpose. So it's time for you to stop just going with the flow and living your life any kind of way. And stop trying to be with everybody. Everybody ain't meant for you. Everybody ain't for you. You can't just be with everybody just because he's fine. Just because he got a nice car. Just because he got money. You got to learn how to see beyond those things. So many women are getting their lives took because they can't see past how a man look and what he got. You don't know how to discern his spirit. And that's the problem. I'm tired of it. Honestly, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Because I really do want us, especially as black women, we gotta get it together. A man is not coming to save you. He's not your superhero. Stop looking for a man to do what only God can do. If you trust God with your life, he can provide for you. He can protect you. He can lead you. He can guide you. He will even give you a vision. He will even give you purpose. He will give you meaning to your life. But you won't submit to him. You keep going to a man thinking that he's the answer to your problem. He's not. And all it's causing you is more hell. You don't understand. You don't realize that since that man came into your life, your peace left. He came in, your peace went out. You can't see that? But you want to continue to hold on and fight. Because you just love so hard. Now, let me tell you something. You don't love you. And a man who don't know God and a woman who don't know God can never love you the way that you need to be loved. You know why? Because God is love. He doesn't love, he is love. And when you get a relationship with God, he will begin to love you and he will teach you how to love other people. And it's the love of God through you that you love other people. So if a man don't got God, he can't love you. He can only lust after you. He can obsess after you. It's them hormones talking. You don't love me. You're obsessed with me. You're lusting after me, but you don't love me because you don't have God's heart to love me. So you don't know how to love me. You don't have a relationship with my Father for him to pour into you, to tell you how I need to be loved. So you can't love me. It's not love. It's obsession and it's lust. But y'all don't want to hear that though, because y'all in love. Y'all don't want to hear, but y'all don't want to hear that. That's why it's so easy for people to ghost you and for people to walk away. That's why it's so easy for people to ghost you and for people to walk away. Because their heart was never really in it in the beginning. That's why. And if you're not tired of being broken, if you're not tired of going around this same cycle, if you're not tired of dating the same man with a different body, then keep strolling. This video not for you. But I'm talking to women who can't seem to understand why they keep going through the same cycles, why they can't break the bad habits, why they keep running back to the same man. And it's because, sis, you are broken. There's something inside of you that needs healing, and you should not be in a relationship until you know who you are, and where you are going. If you do not have those things figured out, forget the fear of missing out. Don't miss you. Don't miss God, because that's the real FOMO. The real fear is missing God. The real fear is missing out on my purpose. The real fear is not knowing who I am. There's so many people that's going to die without ever knowing what real love is and without ever knowing who God is or who they were created to be in this earth. If you continue to put all your effort, time, and energy into relationships, I'm telling you, it's going to continue to fail. Most of y'all will be further than you are right now if you didn't idolize relationships as much as you did. If you could just stay single and be by yourself, you would be much more further in your life, in your career, in your health. But you sit around and you obsess over this man, and you obsess over relationships all day. I'm tired of seeing my sister's life being taken by a man. And if it's not physically, it's mentally, it's emotionally. They leave you more broken than when they originally came into your life. And you know this to be true. They break you down. They break you down. And you know, I hear women say, he broke me down so much that I don't even know who I am anymore. No, you never knew who you was. Because if you did, you would have never been in that relationship in the first place. And it's okay to admit that you need help, because we don't have it all together. I had to admit that to myself, that I needed help. I had to take a man off the pedestal of my heart and put God back on the throne of where he belonged. And it wasn't until I found God that I realized what real love was. It wasn't until I found God that I found purpose. It wasn't until I found God until I found identity. It wasn't in a man. It's not in a man, sis. It's not in a man. And I'm just saying this because I want you to be successful in life and I want you to prosper. And I know this might not be popular. Y'all might not like this, but I'm going to tell you how it is at the end of the day, because your blood will not be on my hands. God has given me a job and I came to fulfill that. So you take this if you want to. You don't listen, it's on you. But at the end of the day, know that I love you and I'm always going to tell you the truth. Because the Bible says the truth will set you free. And I want you to be free. All right? Well, if this video has helped you, do your girl a favor, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But other than that, I am done. Be blessed.